Holy shit! I'm not this. This video. Holy shit, everyone. Okay, this is not a joke. Okay, this video is not a joke. This is completely serious. I just did, 2 videos right, of course, about best anime ever, right? Best girl ever, of course, Marin Kitagawa. Amazing course, episode 9. And you know what I did before? You know what I did before I did this video? Before the stream? I called my mommy, okay? I called my mother. I was like, Mom, I'll tell you about this beautiful girlfriend I late, Best girl marriage. I know. I called my mom because it's my mom's birthday today. It's literally, this is my hentai brain is going high wire. So after I did the stream, I went to Reddit and Twitter and so on, right? People are like, oh, happy birthday, Marin-chan, best girl ever, it's your birthday, Marin, right? And I'm not joking, guys. It is literally my mom's birthday today. So my mom has the same birthday as the best girl. You can't freaking make this up. I'm being 100% serious. My mother is the ultimate best girl. Back on her timeline, right? It's kind of hard. It's a little annoying, of course, to have to how do I prove it's my mom's birthday without doxing my mom, right? But yeah, trust me, it is my mom's birthday. I just talked to her about an hour or so before the stream, right? Went to the gym and then talked to my mom. Caught my mom going home from the gym somewhere. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I wrote to my mom on Facebook now. I was like, hey mom, look at this. You share the same birthday with the most popular hentai character this year. But the most edgy character. Oh god, my hentai brain can't handle this. No, I need to go and read, a lot of Kashan, a lot of Okaa-san, a lot of Mommy Hen stuff today, right? Combining that with Gyaru stuff, yeah, I need to go and read some Gyaru Hen stuff, Gyaru Mom Hen stuff now today. I feel that's kind of. But anyway, jokes aside, jokes aside, but again, it is truly seriously my mom's birthday, right? Like I knew it was my mom's birthday. Like I called her before the anime, right? And so on. But I'm not that bad. So I actually know my mom's birthday is 5th of March, and it's like I'm not joking. This is like my favorite anime this year, right? Like I'm not joking. This is my favorite anime this year. It feels so crazy. I know I'm imperative now, but it feels like crazy. Truly, honestly, it feels kind of surreal. Honestly, it feels surreal that it is my mom's birthday on Marin's birthday. It's a silly thing, man. It doesn't matter. It's a random number that the author picked, or maybe it depends. Maybe the author picked this date because it's like her name means this thing in Japanese or whatever. It's probably some kind of backstory why it's this day or whatever. But like in One Piece, Oda always picks well, his name means this thing and this is that thing or whatever, right? So and so on. Forever, Luffy's birthday is same as Karl Marx for the matter. Quite interesting. But my god, my brain can handle this. Oh my god, my already gutter trash hentai etchy brain can handle this. Anyway, let's move on. Okay. So that being said, inspiration from that thing, right? I want to make a little bit here of talking about some of the best moms in anime. And unfortunately, not that many Gyarus, but there's some best mommies, right? You got some cute. I mean, we have some other mommies that are blonded and so on, right? But I want to give a very quick just best mom thing here. Shout out to my mom for being best girl mom, right? And just give you a few of my best mommies. Moms like Alabama mom, right? I mean, she's awesome. Can never really reject her as a mom, right? Can similar to my own mom, yeah. Kind of how my mom looks in reality. Like, hopefully my mom's watched a video. No, but seriously, she's kind of the same hair as my mom. Like, seriously, yeah. Mamako that's not the list then. But seriously though. Well, of course, Mamako is a complete hentai etchy mom character, and the whole anime is about him almost doing his mom all the time, right? Or more so, her trying to do her son, right? I have to still kind of pick her in, like, ironically, in my top 10 mom anime though, because this whole anime is about her, being the ultimate isekai mom, right? The strongest woman ever, and helping her son, ruining his adventure and so on. And, but still though, obviously it's very etchy and so on. But the anime is still all about moms, right? The enemies are mommies too. They go to evil moms, Gyaru moms. So I feel I have to mention the anime. Not only about the etchy yoke of it, but also kind of like, it is kind of a weird anime not to mention talking about mom in animes. I mean, she obviously is a horrible mom, and she got what's called Yukasta complex. So Oedipus complex, right, is when the son wants his mother. Yokasta complex is when a mom wants her son, right? And she obviously has Yokasta complex and so on to an extreme extent, right? The whole anime is about that. But honestly, for that being said, though, I'm gonna get a serious note now, okay? Move on off and go back to Rymor. This more modern channel post, but I got a serious note here. With all this joking about itchy moms and so on. I got this my mom's birthday, but I watch video. But anyway, it is true though. It is seriously true that Yokasta complex is actually somewhat more common than Oedipus complex. Like seriously, right? The whole hentai line of, the mom going to son, it's actually more common, because what happens, and this is I work with that because I have a master's degree in this subject. not just Yokasta, but human behavior, right? Human behaviorization, right? To some extent, yeah. Certainly part of my research field. But anyway, the thing is that a lot of single moms. So now I'm just gonna throw it out there, but it's true. A lot of single moms, right? They get very codependent on. So the big five is important, right? How much is your agreeableness and your nerosity? So if you're high in both of those, so you're very agreeable, which females are more agreeable than men tend to be, and nerosity as well for that matter. But so you have a very agreeable mother, right? They tend to get what's called a codependent, right? Kind of a yandere thing, right? Most yandere characters in anime are codependent, right? They're so obsessed with the man, right? Do everything for the man. So they're incredibly agreeable, right? So yeah, a lot of moms become too dependent on their children, right? So it actually is, I think, vastly, it depends on the culture, the country, so. But I would say vastly, actually, this kind of character, the mommy boy is actually less likely. This is actually much more common, right? That the mom is so codependent because she's a single mom and she's so obsessed with her son, right? That she's willing to, so because it's not all about the sex, right? Yokasta complex is like you're so codependent on your mother, right? And of course, most mommy's boys, think about it, is created by nurture from the mommy being too codependent with her son, right? That's why the son usually becomes like they do, right? So it's more like in the opposite order, right? I'm just ruining the video, talking about best moms here and extra stuff, but actually the whole hentai storyline of the over mother thing is actually more common, right, than you think. It really is. But of course, in reality, the mom usually unfortunately doesn't go all the way, right? But kind of like forces the son to stay at home and this thing, or you can't leave the city and so on, right? I mean, I have met many people in my life, right, that there are adults and they still is like, I trained with this guy in the martial art audio for many years, and after a few years he had everyone over to a barbecue. It's barbecue, right? And so we hang out at his he has a house, a big house, a wife and everything, right? Children and so on, and we're barbecuing, and then he's like, I missed this item, and it's a true story. I missed this thing, I'm gonna go get it. And he's like, actually I don't have anything, but I get to go to my mom. And I'm like, your mom? And he's like a 45-year-old man, right? Has like 3 kids, a wife, big hot wife and so on. He's like a black belt in this martial art, right? He's like a normal first adult. I'm like, yeah, my mom lives there. And I'm like, wait, your mom lives there? So it's somewhat of an empty street area, basically. So he's bought the house next to his mom, right? You know what I mean? He's bought his house next to his mother. He's like, yeah, I grew up in that house, and I bought a house next to it. Then immediately I'm like, okay, you have issues. I didn't, why don't you sign an appointment at my business over? I can help you with your issues. But I was like, okay. And I talked to him afterwards, like, maybe living with your mom. He's like, my mom is so great. And so, okay, yeah. Like, that guy clearly had issues, right? I was like, okay, so, yeah, you move into your mother. And, then his parents came over, so on, barbecue, and I talked to them a bit. And it was obviously that the mom was, extremely codependent, right? Because when you talk to him, he was like, oh, my mom, she's so important, she needs my help because she's old. And I was like, but when did you move his house? 20 years ago. Oh, okay, so your mom, when she was like 40, needed your help because she was, you know what I mean? So anyway, this actually is much more common than you think. It doesn't have to do with sex, right? The mom actually might be very much like, oh, please, son, can't you live next door to help me with the issues in the house and so on? And that still is a constant complex. It's, of course, Wolf's mom. Okay, so this is an anime movie. I recommend watching it immensely, right? So you have Wolf Mom. I'm going to spoil it too much, but the premise has been said here. It's about a mother, a woman then, falling in love with a man, of course, to get children. And he's actually not a human. He's like a werewolf, okay, whatever. He's like a wolfman, werewolf, beastman, whatever, right? They sleep together, of course. She loves him and so on, blah, blah, blah. And he gets, her pregnant, and they have like half human, half wolf boys or girl or whatever. Yeah, half boy, half girl, whatever. 2 children that are hybrid human and wolves. And then she has to raise them, right? And it's complicated because she has issues, and one of them wants to be free, wants to be wild, and they fight and so on. It is an amazing movie. I've seen it many times. It's a movie you cry. It's a really sad movie though. I think it's a really sad movie. It's wholesome sadness. Yeah, it's a drama. Not much comedy. It has some funny scenes, I guess, but it's mostly a sad movie. Her husband is sad. Her son's a sad scene. Her daughter is fighting, and they fight each other. It's lovely stuff, right? It's a really, really sad movie, but a very heartwarming. It's basically about an anime movie about a mom doing everything for her children, right? Talking about is of course Delia, okay? So who's Delia? That's Ash mom, okay? That's Ash mom, classic anime mom, right? When I was a kid, Pokemon was released when I was like young teenager, you know. So you still remember freaking Delia mom, man. I was like 10 or something. I think the first game was, yeah. So you know, classic mom. And the best thing with this scene here, and that's what I brought up to, back to the ecchi jokes, yes. So back to the jokes, is because of this episode. So if you haven't seen this thing, and yeah, this is truly is like a mind-boggling episode. You know, this whole episode of Martian today, right, of Dress of Darling, was a lot about boob jokes. Okay, James in one episode has massive titties. Okay, this is not something I meant. This is hilarious, and it goes back to Dahlia. This is actually part of the whole mom shit. Trust me, okay. So this one episode when James gets like massive boobs in Pokemon, and this episode was like banned and it wasn't aired in most countries, right? Because it's like a transgender scene, right? And I remember that as a kid, as I mentioned, I was like 10, 11 or so when the anime I think arrived or whatever on the age, right? And I remember, you know, because first I read the manga before we had the anime. And in my mind, I was like, wait, is James a woman or something? Yeah, I was like, James was like dressing up and being all sexy. So I was like, is James a woman or a man? Because it was no voice acting, right? And then the anime sort of added, why did they give James a male voice actor? I was felt that James should have had a female voice actor, because I read the manga a bit before the anime started. But yeah, there is an episode, check it out seriously, when James gets huge titties, and like the actual scene. It even has this scene, like I'm not even kidding. This is the best Pokemon episode ever. I guess I'm laughing about it. It is an actual part of Pokemon. So they have like a sexy, you know, hottest model competition, right? Hottest bikini woman, right? James has like massive boobies, and then Misty wants to win, right? It's about Misty. It's like she wants to beat them, right? It's like Pokemon wants to win, right? Misty wants to defeat these ladies, right? In this like sexist girl on the beach, right? Beach episode of Pokemon. This honestly is one of the first, you know, beach episode, right? Pokemon, probably the first one, honestly. And of course, yes, is sexy, right? But James is like, what if I get really big titties? I'm gonna get. And then we see Misty crying. He's like, oh, I can't defeat James and his massive boobs. And this is an actual scene. James taunts her like, you can't defeat me, flat girl. Right? This is like an actual scene in the episode. This is one of the weirdest episodes ever, and it got banned again in most countries, right? But it's hilarious. It is truly, truly hilarious. But the best part of the episode though, and I genuinely mean it, but it's so funny, because half the episode is about James being a woman and like trying to, I don't know, seduce the judges to being sexual to Misty, and Misty's crying and James is so hot and so on. That's whole episode, right? But the thing is that suddenly Ash's mom are pissed. I'm not even joking. And Ash's mom lost an episode, and she's like in a bikini showing off and so on. And then good Ash like, oh mom, stop being sexy, mom. Like it's part of the episode too. And then this kind of forgetting about that, because it's all about James and his massive tits, right? And then in the end of the episode, suddenly Dahlia wins. This is one of the classic, I feel, anime, you know, hot anime moms. Yeah, and then Dahlia wins. But the episode is so weird too, because she has like almost no screen time. She shows up in a bikini, right? Very, very brief, like a minute. Ash gets embarrassed and she's like showing off her body, right? And then she wins later on, 20 minutes later. And everyone is focusing on, you know, James' massive op-eyes, and Dahlia wins. So, Dahlia for me, man. Classic anime mom. Classic. Another anime mom that's awesome is seriously Mitsuki, okay? Bakugo. Not just only hentai. Even though she has a lot of good hentai with her, especially when Yuna used, right? But not just the hen stuff, but actually, she's an awesome mom. Where Deku's mom is just crap, okay? I don't understand people that think Deku mom has a good mom, okay? This is a terrible mom. this is a good mom, okay? She's like, smack, shut up, stupid son. So the reason why she's a much better mom, and I really want to make this focus a little bit, because I always disliked how Mitsuki gets so little credit by the My Academia fans, right? While Deku's mom is like much more popular, because she's the main character's mom, you know. Because generally, this is a video I worked on a bit and I never published it, but this is, you know, back in the days, right, when it was focused like 2 years ago or whatever. And the reason why is that, you know, Deku's mom is actually a really bad mom. And I mean it from like a professional standpoint. She's a terrible mom. Maybe not the worst mother ever, but she's so ignorant for who her son actually is, right? And Deku even says immediately in season 1, he's like, oh, mom never listened to me. I want her to just tell me I could do with something, and she's just always just ignorant on it and so on. So Deku's mom, I'm sorry for this mom, but she actually, while my mom, seriously, and I don't mean this as a joke, I guess. So generally, while my mom actually somewhat, to some extent, seriously looks like Mamako, I know this video is crazy, but a little bit honestly, because she has kind of the same hair and so on, yeah. But the behavior is very different though. She has very different behavior. That's my comment to her. She kind of looks like Mamako to some extent, again, honestly. But my mom, sorry about this mom, but she's kind of similar to Deku mom, okay? Like not entirely, but on the whole notion of, people say I'm projecting now, but no, but the whole notion of just being like a nice mom without ever really listening to what your kid wants, right? Because that's kind of Deku's mom. So, but honestly, my mom, of course, is less of this extent. But Deku's mom is very, very weird, I feel, in the anime. And I feel it's more weird that people always popular her as an amazing mom in anime, which she really isn't. In every scene in the anime, basically, she's just always like, she just, you know, loves her son, but never really wants him to do what he wants, you know? She's always just like, oh, I love my son, and hopefully he becomes like a teacher or something, and without violence or whatever, yeah. She never like cares about her son's dreams or inspiration, right? She just like, and that's what I mean, that's similar to my mom. My mom was very nice and friendly and so on, right? But but to some extent, she's kind of like just, yeah, whatever, you know, do what you want, I love you anyway, you know. It's not really like an inspirational mom, right? Sorry, mom. But obviously I feel Deku mom is way worse, because every scene she has, she basically has no understanding what's happening to her son, doesn't to follow at all really what's happening in her son's life, right? The enemies or whatever, right? And she clearly doesn't understand her son's behavior or who he is and what's supposed to be and so on, right? She really doesn't. And that's shown in every arc, every season she appears in. She basically just, hey son, here's food, whatever, yeah. Seeming to have like zero interest in understanding and being empathizing, right, with her son and what has said. However, every goddamn scene with Mitsuki, she's a badass cool mom that really understands that, oh, my son needs someone. People are gonna blame that how could she raise this bully son or whatever, but the thing is that you have nurture and you have nature, right? So her son is born as, you know, this angry kid, right, quirk and so on, and she understands that. She actually really understands her son. She really is like, oh, I'm sorry for my son saying this thing and so on, right? She actually has a really good understanding of who her son is, his issues and his strength and so on. So she actually is very empathic and actually trying her best, right, to raise, you know, a explosive bullied boy, right? And you can blame her for his son being a bully or whatever, but think it more about, again, you have nurture nature. So if she has like let's say that Bakugo is born as evil, right? Let's argue for that. He's born as evil, and his mom is like, he's an evil boy, right? But I'm gonna make him a good son as much as I can, right? That's more you have to imagine it. I'm being a little bit obtuse and too hyperbolic, but seriously, imagine that he's born evil and she is like, okay, how can I make him, you know, he's evil or angry? Yeah, he's born super angry and evil, and how can I make him still be a functional human, right? That's kind of is her way, where Deku mom is more like, here I have a son, he's born good, he wants to be a hero, and I do nothing with that. Yeah, and I just ignore raising my son. I just give him food and say, I love you, boy, you know? she has like no involvement in his son's life whatsoever, basically, right? Even not before the hero, after the hero, she has like no understanding or interest in learning who he is, right? So, yeah, Mitsuki is like an amazing mom in that anime, and of course Deku mom is just kind of like, again, Deku mom is better than Todoroki mom. Todoroki mom is like, I will kill my son, right, because I hate his father. So Todoroki mom, of course, is worse. I also Deku mom is a terrible mom. But Deku mom is very like indifferent, you know. She's a very basic indifferent mom. So it's not me saying that Deku mom or my own mom, because someone similar to her, is like in behavior stance, is that, oh, terrible mother. But it's more like, I used to see why people are so hyping her up, right, on whatever, YouTube and so on, because she really isn't that good of a mom. She's basically just like existing, right? She's a bit feeding him, yeah. Another mom we can't forget, though, is of course Kyoko, okay? This is one of the absolute top anime moms ever. She's a Yankee Gyaru mom, also Yankee Gyaru, but still badass, you know, fighter mommy, right? It's an amazing mommy character from, of course, Fruit Basket. So Toru's mom, right? And this is, she has a movie this year, and yeah, she's an amazing mom, seriously. She's unfortunately already dead. Spoiler, but she's dead when the anime starts, episode 1. And so is her husband, right? But yeah, everything with her is awesome. She raised, you know, Toru to be this amazing girl. She also raised, of course, her best friend and so on, so that. Yeah, raised the other Yankees and so on, right? And she's her backstory is amazing, and she's really is you know, a woman that cares about her daughter. And that's her daughter, her friends, right? And also, of course, her daughter's boyfriend and, you know, the future love interest and all stuff too, right? With, you know, the cat scene and everything. And, you know, yeah, I won't spoil too much if you've seen it, but everything with Kyoko is amazing. How she raised basically 3 kids and single mom. And this is seriously one of the absolute best moments. And comparing her then to the Deku mom is night and day, right? They're both like single mom basically. Because Deku mom is like, whatever, he is a fool. This is like, he's a life lesson girl. He's this thing, right? But seriously, Kyoko's like this amazing, cool mom. And she's cool too, you know? She's badass. Not only is she this wonderful, understanding, empathic mother, she's an amazing, you know, role model for her daughter, and also, you know, the other cats, don't spoil too much, but also, you know, love interest and best friend and so on. But also, she's a badass Yankee fighter girl, right? You know, a street thug kind of. She has that like backstory being like this badass brawler too, so she has that going for her too. She's like a badass, you know, fighter mom, and also, for that matter, you know, like, yeah, super amazing mom character. But Marin Sean's birthday mom video here. Best mom ever is, of course, healing. Healing! It's just like insane. If you follow me, what's the ranking? It's just healing is just the best shit ever. This is like, I can't believe how good healing is. Like every episode healing, I'm like, my mom, healing! And I genuinely, I can't say any more, but oh my god, how healing is a good mom, okay? If you haven't seen Summer Ranking yet, you come here and listen to the video, and obviously if I do, I will do a top 10 best mom video, like a seriously top 10, right, but I actually go in and talk about a lot of mom characters. This is just top of my head, right? And, but obviously healing is not a vintage shit. I mean, healing is like again, I mentioned Wolf Mom earlier, Wolf Mommy, she was like my number 1, right, for a few years. Then also my ranking dropped last year, and now healing is like, healing, the ultimate good, you know, mommy. Yeah, she's like a million times better than Wolf Mom. Wolf Mom was like leading the pack, right? She was leading that pack for like 10 years, and then healing up here, and she's like, just went past her and crushed them all. Like, it's like absurdly how good healing is. I wish my mom was like healing. But it's hard explaining how good healing is without spoiling the anime though. But basically, I think I have to spoil it a bit then, so Warren spoilers. The first thing with healing is that she first appears as the evil, typical Disney stepmom, right? You know, Askungen or whatever, so Cinderella and so on, yeah, etc. And or whatever, like the Snow White and so on, you know, evil stepmom, evil queen and so on, right? Because she's the queen of the kingdom, right? And of course, the mother to the main character's half brother died as evil, right? You know, and so on. But she turned out to be the best mommy ever. She's like, when little Body is getting hurt, you know, he's training in the snow and he's like trying to get stronger and so on. Then she hates him, but no, healing appears. It's like Body, and she's coming in and healing him, you know, and she's doing all this shit, right? She's coming in there like he's like lying in bed injured. And it's so good writing because you think that she's gonna like hate her son again, or her, you know, stepson, right? But she's like coming in there, heals him when he's sleeping and so on. It's like, Bodhi, Sean, I'm here, I'm gonna help you. It's just so good, it's just so goddamn good. And then of course Bodhi can't speak or he's mute and so on. So she's teaching her sign language. She's like, Dorse, I can do sign language. She's just so goddamn good, you know. She's so goddamn good. And then of course, more spoilers here, but she's gonna have these amazing moments, right? Like, amazing moments. Like she has the best, coolest mom ever. They're gonna have this kind of moments. She's like, I'm gonna save Lady Anne, you know, Appis and Dorsche, so many cool moments later on. I've not spoiled too much here, but I can't recommend Ōkami Ranking more than the healing. Ōkami Ranking is an amazing anime, generally speaking, but healing for me is by far what is carrying the anime. It's not Body, it's not Kage, whatever. they're all great characters. All the great characters, you know, Domas and Bosse and Iida, so many good characters. But Healing is by far the best character in the anime. Like the scene where she got set in the air, Appy saves. I mean, I was trying to think about Appy's like, Healing, Nigiri, like you finally escape, and she's like, no, I gotta save my friends. Just runs back in there fighting them. Healing is so amazing because she's basically a healer, right? She's like, you know, top 100 level 100 priest, right? But she can't fight whatsoever, right? So seeing her struggling, saving her friends, healing her pals and so on, right? All this, I mean, she's so good. That's why she's like the best mom ever, right? Because she runs around there, you know, trying to do her best, even though she's very weak, a glass cannon kind of healer, right? Someone dressed as a parent, I suppose, but you know, since she can't fight, right? Her struggle of being like a warrior mom, right? And it's very interesting too, because how often do you actually see the moms fight, right? That's why I actually honestly kind of like Mamako, because she is actual fighter mom, right? It's played as a parody, but she's a fighter mom. Because almost every other mom character ever is just kind of, you know, a hot piece of ass, right, in the kitchen, right? Yeah. Very rarely do we see the fight. Again, it has Kyoko too, right? You know, Toru's mom, yeah. Also, Yankee fighting mom, right? I think that's one reason too that they're cool moms, because an action mom is cooler than, you know, just a hot mommy at home, right? Yeah. Certainly. And on that point then, I want to throw on one more mother, which is not an anime character. I just want to mention her in this video here, because she's a badass character. That's the last point I said. I want to have this woman here in the video as well, right? Since we end, it's not a top 10 anime video. It's more like a top 10 almost mom now. Miranda, okay? Miranda, this is what more mommy should be, okay? In storytelling, again speaking, serious speaking. Absolutely, more Mirandas, god damn it, okay? So, why is Miranda a good mom? So, Miranda is the mother of the main character of Grandia 3. This is a game that you haven't played. No one's played Grandia 3, okay? So, yeah, okay, game. Basically, no one played it. Grandia 1 and 2 were amazing. Grandia 3 is the least good of them, but it's still good. Grandia 2 was very good at Dreamcast, and so on, right? But the thing with Miranda is that, yeah, she's kind of an ecchi mom, honestly speaking, because she's like, I don't know, she got pregnant at 12 or something. Okay, so she's the main character is like 13 or 14, right? The main boy is playing, and his mom is like 25 or something. so he has to. So most characters think that she is his big sister, right? You know, they're like, oh yeah, Unesha, she's my mom, because she's too attractive and so on. Because she got like teenage pregnancy and all the good stuff. So it's some weird backstory. And she's gonna seduce another party member. So honestly, all this stuff makes her a cool, kind of a hentai cool mom. Honestly, I think she's a badass hentai mom because you have another party member, right? You have the elf girlfriend of the main character, and then you find another guy in the party. You change party members, all right? Your mom is gonna seduce and sleep with other party members. And I have to say, honestly, I think it's cool. Okay, am I the only one? Like you have your mom, and the mom is like, you know what? I wanna fuck that guy in the party. He's a hot guy, so she's kind of a hentai mommy. But I think that's, you know, makes her even cooler, because she's like, I'm 25, right? So I'm gonna sleep with my son's friends, right? You know, in that sense, you can think that or whatever. But the essence and why it's so badass with her is that she joins your goddamn party, okay? This is why she's one of the coolest mom ever in video games. Like seriously, arguably the best mom ever, because she's the most logical mom ever, honestly. So thing is that you have Grandia, right? It's a typical JRPG, you know, oh no, the world's been doomed, right? So the main character's girlfriend, the elf princess, basically, right? Her brother is gonna destroy the planet, you know, evil elf prince god guy, right? He's gonna destroy the planet, summoning thunderbirds and whatever, right? He's gonna like ruin the world, right? And she wants to save the planet because she's a good girl, right? And her brother's gone crazy, you know, very classic JRPG, right? And by of course meeting this elf girl, the main character is gonna, you know, join her. It's gonna be a party, and they're gonna save the planet, right? And they're gonna get different allies too, you know, and fight bad guys, right? So it's very, very basic premise here, right? I mean, most good details here. And what happens then, like in every other role-playing game ever, right? The main character's like, okay, mom, I'm gonna pick up my sexy elf girlfriend, and we're gonna go out and kill your brother and rescue the planet, right? Right? That's like, how often have you seen that in role-playing games? Chrono Trigger, right? You have your mom in the house. Oh, I'm gonna time travel, mom, but I'm gonna go and do this thing, right? And so on. You've seen this thing so many times and again in almost, I feel, 9 out of 10 role-playing games. Right? Not just Japanese, but Western too, of course, where you have some kind of, as long as you have like a family, right? You have your mom or dad or whatever, right? Usually only a mom, right? It's incredibly common. But what happens then with the family is that they're like, yeah, you go, son, right? How often, tell me game where the father is like, the legendary sword daddy is like, okay, son, here, take my sword, you know. He's like, take my weapon, son, go and save the planet. Like, how often do you actually see that? That's pretty common, right? He gives a weapon or whatever. And then the father's like, whatever, do what you want, right? Yeah. So Grandia 3 mommy, Miranda here, she's a natural rare, horny mom and all good stuff, right? Obviously teenage pregnancy and all the good stuff, yeah. Super hot mom, certainly, etchy mommy, but she makes sense. She's like, wait, because yeah, the elf comes to her, right? Oh, my brother's gonna destroy the planet. I need your son's help to save the planet, right? And instead of her being like, oh yeah, great, take my son, sleep with him, give me grandkids, and go and save the world, right? And they actually have grandkids in the end of the game. Spoilers, but whatever. Like the game ends and you actually have children. So yeah, Grandma is a pretty, how I say it, kind of uncensored game when it comes to storytelling. Honestly, the game epilogue you have like kids and so on. So that's pretty cool, I think. But anyway, right? She's just like, that's cool. She's like, I like you, elf girl. And she, of course, is very like sexualized. Right? She's like, you wanna smash my son? He's like, oh no, he's my love, planet safe. She's like, yeah, but you can sleep with him if you want to. So basically, mom is like, Dad, F my son, girl. So that's also part of her character. She's like, I want some grandkids. So yeah, it's kind of an etchy mom, right? And part of the comedy. But after that, she's like, oh, you gonna save the world? And he's like, yeah, the world is destroyed. She's like, I wanna save the world. So she goes to the party and is a playable character for most of the game. And then, spoiler, leave it there. You got change party members and what. And you have other stronger party members later, right? But it just makes perfect sense in my opinion, and I really think this should be in more video games. Why wouldn't your parent, if your parent is like a badass warrior, why wouldn't they join you if you're like, oh shit, mom, this girl here has proven to me that the world is gonna be doomed in 20 days. We're gonna save the planet, right? And in all other games, right, the mom is like, yeah, whatever, go out to save the world. This mom is like, wait, I'm gonna die in 20 days? I'm gonna kick their ass! I'm stronger than you, son. Let me go and kill that damn elf guy, right? So, yeah, I think Miranda, honestly, is one of the few female characters I've seen. Oh, Jesus Christ. She makes so much more sense. Badass warrior mommy that joins your party and then, fights with your party until you basically get stronger party members. And then she basically is like, okay, I'm gonna go out now then. You can like exchange me with the dwarf guy or whatever, yeah. Okay, this like, legendary dragon guy, he's better than me, so you can like, basically, she's like, I wanna have sex with this guy, and you have a dragon guy over there, so this is actually the storyline. She wants to sleep with the other guy in the party. They go away and do have some new family. So basically a new family with the guy. But also partially because she's like, I'm too weak now, this guy is stronger than me. So, but yeah, why doesn't more mom do this thing? And obviously, she's similar to healing, right? There has a lot of fighting moments. I think we need more of these action moments, right? They can fight and so on. But I think, honestly, that Miranda, when I played on a 3, it really kind of broke me in the sense that how many games haven't I played where your parent is a legendary warrior of X, right? And they're actually all alive. Sometimes they're obviously evil, or they're sealed away, or they're dead, or whatever, right? Most of them are dead. But some of the games, your parents is actually alive, right? They're training you to fight against the dragons or whatever, right? And how does it make any sense? Like, your father, that the sword master of Duran or whatever, he trained you in swordsmith for 20 years. And here comes, a demon girl, like, please, you need to help me against the evil angels to save the planet. And yeah, you're like, okay, Dad, I'm gonna go with the demon girl and save the planet, right? And your father, like Swordmaster Duran-sama, is like, you go, son, it's your destiny. How does that make any sense? Think about it. Wouldn't this father be like, yeah, I'm gonna join you to save the planet, because I'm the strongest Swordmaster, right? My son has potential better than me, but currently, I'm the strongest person, right? And it's like a world doomsday. I should join, right? So Miranda, honestly, is the most logical parent in any video game ever. She's like, I'm gonna fight to death with your son. Okay, the world's going down, the world's gonna be destroyed, well then I'm gonna join the party and fight and kill the bad guys. Right? Yeah, like why doesn't more mommy does that? If of course they have a backstory of being a badass warrior. She's like a bandit ninja thief character, right? With 2 swords and 2 daggers. She's like established the fastest, strongest fighter in the city, right? So yeah. And of course, because otherwise, the backstory is that, she's been training her son his whole life, right? She's very, very young and, she's very, agile and so on, right? Been training her son to fight, right? And she's the best fighter in the city, or the country, or whatever, right? And of course, her son is second best. But again, it makes sense that she would join the party and be, I'm a badass warrior, mommy. I'm gonna join you and kill the bad guy with you, right? Because yes, you are the second strongest warrior, but I'm the strongest warrior, so I should go with you and the elf princess and kill the evil elf guy, right? It just makes sense. Anyway, little random video decided, but come on, this is how more best mom should be. I just don't understand why no one else basically ever has done the storyline. I will say that Fire Emblem, at least Three Houses, had your father with you for a long time. Yeah, they actually had your dad with you but it's like a strategy role-playing game. So every character is like less important. I mean, it's not important, but you have like 10 characters, so your father isn't as important as a party member. But honestly, I think more of that. Xenoblade has basically big bro father character joining, so on too. Yeah, I think more games need to do this, and also animes, right? Where the parent actually can fight. At least if the premise is that the parent trained the kid, right, the main character, to be strong. Why would then the main character's parent not join them when they have to fight, right? Certainly, it happens every now and then, and they usually die. Of course, they usually get killed, right? In an anime where the parent joins the party members, or like, how say it, they join the party temporarily, right? Because they usually get killed joining the party. Certainly, it's a very, very accurate trope, but at least it makes more sense than like the super powerful parent is saying that, oh, I'm gonna stay at home and make cookies. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, that's my mom video, guys. Happy birthday, mom, and happy birthday, Marin-chan, best girl ever. And see you guys with One Piece in a few hours from now, or else we'll be Elden Ring on Twitch now. And of course, tomorrow, check out, Mushu Tenshi, OVA tomorrow. Get Slade, Eris, and Rudy and so on. And then we'll Titan. Subscribe, and have a great day.